struggling is, well, white people aren't doing enough, or maybe they need to do more for us. They need to give us more money. And I'm not saying that that's not true. Sure, they owe you a lot. They should be doing more. But if it's gotten to the year 2020 and they still haven't started doing more, I think the fundamental question to ask yourself is, are they ever going to start doing more? When is that going to change? When are they actually going to change their behavior? Or are white people going to continue to simply be white, which is something that they've gotten pretty good at? That's something they do pretty consistently. Is they kind of let you know who they are and what they believe in, right? So here's a point I want to make on this. So Jason Black did a great video about universities not teaching students about independent wealth. And I saw the video. Jade Arendelle sent it over to me, and I think I'm a friend of Jason Black's. I'm an ally with his, and I just think the guy does great work. And so I wanted to supplement that point of view as a professor myself. I'm an academic myself, and I wanted to supplement Jason's point of view by kind of really talking through why HBCUs don't teach Black people how to have independent wealth. A lot of times, if you're thinking about who you want to learn about wealth from, one of the rules of learning about wealth, in my opinion, is it's kind of hard to learn about wealth from a person who has none. Don't take financial advice from broke people, because broke people can only show you how to do what they're doing. It's sort of like if I play a sport and I'm trying to learn how to win a Super Bowl, I'm not going to go and learn how to win a Super Bowl from somebody who's never even gotten to the playoffs, or I'm not going to try to win a championship from somebody who's never even had a winning record. And unfortunately, with HBCUs, economic independence is just something that they're not very good at. They might be very good at math, very good at biology, very good at teaching law, very good at teaching how to get a job at a corporation. But I don't see much evidence, and perhaps there's a contradiction out there. You can point me out to that. I don't see a lot of evidence that the HBCUs are good at or interested in teaching independent Black wealth strategies for young Black people. Piece of the evidence to that is the fact that the majority of the students I know that go to HBCUs that have graduated, they usually went to go work for somebody else. And a lot of HBCUs pride themselves on how many Black people they've sent to go work for white people. They don't pride themselves on how many Black people have actually built businesses that are hiring their graduates. I don't hear that a lot. I'm not, I have to be very careful with this statement, because I'm not in any way seeking to disparage HBCUs and the significance of their role. I think HBCUs are a wonderful experience. In fact, I'm a little bit jealous. I never got a chance to go to an HBCU. I tried to teach at an HBCU back in the day, and it didn't work out. And to be quite frank with you, the amount of money they offered me was kind of insanely low. But even then, I was still trying to figure out a way to make it work. I think what was the deal breaker was when I was told that I couldn't do independent scholarly work, like I couldn't do the things I do on the internet. But I saw that as the future. I saw what we're doing in the Black Business School as the future of learning. There's a study, actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but at Harvard University, there's one of the scholars actually consistently cites a prediction that 50% of all private universities are going to be bankrupt in the next decade. Now, the estimates range from 25% to 50%, but it's still pretty high. And this is all universities. This is not just just Black schools. This is white schools, Black schools, everything else. And so if you remember, they have that saying that says, when white people get sick, Black people get pneumonia. So if as many as 50% of all universities are going to disappear in the next decade or 10 to 15 years, then what do you think is going to happen to HBCUs? If it's 50% for white people, it's going to be 70% for Black people, right? Or some higher number. So basically, if as a person who taught at different universities for a lot of years, and a person who really wanted to contribute to Black education and independent wealth building, we run the Black Business School. We have about 85,000 students around the world. And what we're consistently hearing from the students is, this is awesome. We're learning more than we learned in college, but we're only paying about 1/50th of what we might have paid when we went to that university. I would just say that I think Jason's point was correct. And I think that one of the things about HBCUs, and I read an article in the Chronicle of Higher Education by someone named Alvin Schnecknider. I think that's an interesting name. Alvin Schnecknider wrote an interesting article where basically he makes a really good argument that in order for HBCUs to survive or to thrive, they're going to have to shift their business models. He said you can't have old school, backward management structure and expect to survive and to grow. And it doesn't mean every HBCU is in that category, but you do have you have situations where you have old heads that have been around and they're doing things the way they might have done it in 1985. And I don't think that's going to help them survive in the future. Also, a lot of HBCUs, unfortunately, because they weren't sort of created with an independent streak, independent spirit. I mean, think about this. Dr. Claude Anderson just went on the Breakfast Club and talked about powernomics. The video has probably gotten 1.5 to 2 million views on YouTube alone. People like Charlemagne the God, Tiffany Haddish, and a lot of other people have now, integrated or brought in powernomics philosophies into their personal journey, right? So this guy is mainstream. His ideas are very powerful. His ideas are changing the world. But HBCUs have not stepped forward in terms of being consistent about inviting him in to speak to their students. HBCUs don't even recommend Powernomics as one of the books they read, but they have plenty of books by white people that they have their students read, right? So you have a ton of books by white people, random ass, maybe racist, seemingly irrelevant white people that you're forcing your students to read. But one of the greatest black economic thinkers in the history of this country is not even acknowledged by you because maybe you think that he's too radical because he offends white people, right? Well, here's the deal. Here's the reality. And I think you got to accept this as black people. Your true independence and liberation will not come at the consent of white folks. White folks are not going to stand there and applaud when you finally figure out the formula for your own economic strength and prosperity. White folks are not going to guide you to your own liberation. Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no if you believe that white folks will either guide you, teach you, or approve you of becoming economically independent. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you believe that the majority of white Americans are going to guide, approve, co-sign, fund, support, or help you pursue your own economic liberation? Yes or no? Do you believe that they are going to be partners in your economic freedom? Do you believe that they care about you enough to want to see you thrive and to succeed and to win and to get ahead with or without their help? Do you really think that they're going to pass resolutions and pass laws and provide funding and support and government government subsidies for black economic independence? The answer is no. We know the answer is no. I mean, it's not as if I have to tell you what racism feels like. It's not as if I have to convince you that these people are not your friends. It's not as if I have to, persuade you or explain to you how much they despise you or how little they give a shit about your outcomes or your life or anything, right? So given that we know what we're dealing with, my question will become this. When you look at HBCUs and where they are, where's the money coming from? Who's supposed to save the HBCUs? Who's going to come through and provide the resources that these schools need? Are you waiting for what the Trump administration to fund you more? Is that what you're waiting for? Are you waiting for the next Democrat in the White House to come through and give you what you need in order for you to be whole? Even though every other Democrat, including your own black president, didn't do very much for you to begin with, put you in the situation you're in now. Are you waiting for white corporations to come and hire all your students and provide you with all your resources? I don't know. I mean, maybe that works, right? You give them black employees, they give you money, and maybe it works. But I'm going to say this: the HBCU of the future is going to look very different from the HBCU of today. Black schools that are innovative, courageous, and independent, I think, are going to thrive. Those that continue to rely on antiquated business models are going to fail. And a big reason, I go back to my key primary point. And again, shout out to Jason Black because he actually inspired this thought that I'm sharing with you today. I'm going to go back to this basic thought. Someone who has not achieved economic independence cannot teach you how to be economically free. You cannot and should not learn economic independence from somebody who has not been able to apply it to their own life. So it makes sense now. Now it's a Eureka moment where I'm thinking, okay, that's why HBCUs don't teach powernomics, because they don't understand or value powernomics. Unfortunately, some would almost say that some of the schools value slaveonomics or strugglenomics, right? But they don't understand or appreciate powernomics because powernomics is offensive to white people. In order for you to compete with white folks, you're going to probably have to offend them. I sat here and I watched the Green Bay Packers get their ass whooped by the San Francisco 49ers, and who went on their way to the Super Bowl. I watched them beat the living crap out of this other team. And I doubt that the 49ers could have defeated the Green Bay Packers if they were sitting around worried about how they could win the game without hurting their feelings or without making them mad or without offending them, right? So I think that for black folks, I think you got to learn how to compete. And I don't know if HBCUs really know exactly how to truly compete. I think they know how to, they know how to position for a seat at the white man's table. They know how to get black folks into corporate America. I think they know how to get black folks kind of under the door, under the radar, into the system. And I think that's fine. There's a lot to be gained from the system, but that's not really going to be the key for liberation for black people. That's not what's going to help us win. Now, I want to say thank you, DOP, Michael Worldwide. Okay, I see DOP. Is that 550? Did you get $550, or what is DOP? I don't even know what DOP is. Is that money? Is that a? Well, I appreciate it. Either way, thank you very much. He says, I support you, brother. If you can, please shout out my YouTube channel. It's a travel channel, Miko Worldwide, M-I-K-O Worldwide. So everybody go support this brother channel. I see 550. I don't know if that's money or if that is some other type of currency I'm not aware of, because it normally has a dollar sign. But either way, I'm still shouting you out because I respect you and I love you too, man. And so I just copied and pasted his quote, and I put it in the chat so you guys can see what this brother's got going on. And if you support the platform, I'll copy and paste your comment too, so people can go right to your link and go right to your business and go right to your platform and support you, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what reciprocity looks like. You help us, we help you. That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So anyway, guys, I got to go, and I want to say thanks and shout out again to Jason Black, the Black Channel, the Black Authority, for getting me to think on this point. I like him. I respect this guy a lot. And also, I just want you to kind of process what freedom looks like, what independence looks like, what strength looks like. Strength does not come in the form of begging or asking permission. Again, I think about the NFL. The guys that won these games were simply imposing their will on the other team without giving a shit about their feelings, right? So in order for you to really know what power is, and Dr. Claude Anderson defines power in the first chapter of Powernomics, he says power is the ability to basically impose your will on the opposition, despite the fact that they try to slow you down. It's the ability to move forward with your agenda, despite the fact that they try to stop you. So whenever you hear a black person that complains, that says, oh, well, every time we try to do something, they stop us. Every time we try to do something, they call us names. Every time we try to do something, they do something racist, right? When you hear somebody talking like that, people that use that kind of language don't understand the language of power. The language of power says, I don't give a shit what you do. I'm about to come in here and make this happen. I don't care what you think about me. I'm not even going to think about what you think about me. So I think so little about what you're thinking about me that I'm not just gonna override what you said. I'm not just going to ignore what you said. I won't even hear what you said. It'll be like you're speaking Chinese and I'm speaking English, because it doesn't matter what you think. What matters is what's about to happen right now, and I'm about to come in here and get mine. Black folks need to learn language like that, as opposed to learning this wimpy language of every time we try to do something, they stop us. They won't give us no opportunities. They won't give us no jobs. They cutting the government funding. We so mad because Trump gonna cut the government funding. Or if I was Donald Trump, why would Donald Trump support the liberation of black people? Why would you even be dumb enough to sit around and think that a guy like a Donald Trump or even the Nancy Pelosi types of the world are going to actually really care about you being truly independent and economically free? They're not going to give that to you. That's something you actually have to take, and I think we have to learn how to take it. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you, Silent D Productions, for your donation. He says, supporting you, fellow king. Keep dropping knowledge bombs. I sure will, brother. I sure will. It will not stop. Can't stop, won't stop. So actually, I got to go. Actually, I don't know if I told you guys, I met a brother. I was standing outside of the we had our weekend wealth summit down here in New Orleans, and I was standing outside, and I was just standing on the block waiting for my Uber to come by. And I mean, I got so much mad love from New Orleans. There's people on the street like that are bumping in, and saying, oh, we watch the channel, stuff like that. And so this brother comes up and he just says hi, and he says, oh, I watch your stuff, I like it. I was like, oh, thank you, man, thank you. It turns out this young black man has bought a couple of multi-million-dollar buildings right in downtown New Orleans. And in fact, I should actually give a shout out. I'm going to go find the URL and shout that out on my YouTube channel, because I wanted to support this brother. And he invited us in tonight to go and check out. He's got a band called the Brassaholics coming in and performing tonight. And so we just, Alicia and I were going to pop by with my brother and stuff and just kind of show love and support this black business. So I'll find out the name of the business. It's in New Orleans. And I want you guys to just know about it, because I think that if we know about what each other's doing, we can actually support ourselves. I think at the very least, while we, the so-called economic equality with white folks is going to be hard to obtain because they have a lot of money. At the very least, we can find ways to stop giving other people our money. I think that's a great start, right? How about we start? Imagine what would happen if half of the 1.3 trillion that we give away to the rest of the world was actually given back to us. I mean, imagine if half of our money was spent with Black businesses. That will be better than reparations. I'm going to tell you right now, that will be better than reparations. So just start at home, start with what you got, stop giving away the ball, and then maybe you'll score some touchdowns. That's the first step. Stop turning the ball over, and that's the first step toward learning how to win the game. All right, so please do me a favor. Please hit that thumbs up button right now. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, I wanted to mention to you guys, some of you are asking about mentorship and things like that. I actually have a great mentorship program at blackkeystogreatness.com. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. Use the code word podcast, and you can get 30% off. And that's a mentorship program I created, especially for young people that are looking for guidance and things like that. We also have a mentorship program based on wealth, if that's something you're looking for as well. So feel free to go to blackkeystogreatness.com. And you can also talk to people that are on the platform that can talk you through what you're looking for. So take care. I'll see you soon. Have a good night. Be good. Peace.